Mhm.
Please enjoy this feature presentation of the Crooked River Radio Network. This program is rated for all audiences.
Four guys on sports. Four guys on sports. Four guys on sports starts now.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Yep.
I'm looking at something here. Oh, I guess I can put us. On the air here. Let's go to that one. Wow, look at that. There's Shawn and there's Gordon. Wow.
Yeah, the only one we're missing is Nate.
I feel like a celebrity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have missing them. I was trying to get my buddy Serge on here, but
I'm wondering if Eric's available. You guys want me to invite him in? If he is?
That's fine.
That's fine.
I don't know what we're talking about today anyway.
Yeah, there's a couple of sports things that I've heard about. So
Yeah.
there really isn't much Browns news or anything like that. That's pretty much the reason that I haven't been really adamant about getting the sports shows on the air.
It's not that great of a time every year right now.
Yeah, we'll get there. Try that. Zoom room looks all right. I'm trying to find out what the heck's going on with this. I guess that looks all right. This is just screwed up a little. Let's see if we can adjust you guys up here. Wow, there it is. Let's do that. Put it in the center of the screen. Need to shrink that down a little bit. Hang on a second. We're fixing things. Isn't live TV and live radio wonderful?
Oh,
You learn so much by these things.
yeah.
That works. All right, I guess that's good enough for this show. Well, it's good enough for any show, to be honest about it.
Uh-huh.
Put me over here on Gordon's arm. All right, that's good. Yeah, we got. I've had quite a bit going on here this last couple of weeks. It's been an interesting couple of weeks as far as my personal life and that goes, but I'm not going to go into that. And Shawn,
Yeah.
I know you've had your issues.
Well,
Yeah.
We won't go into that, but at least not on here.
yeah.
But anyway, what's going on sports-wise that we ought to talk about?
I know we had the All-Star game recently.
Yeah.
It was a pretty good All-Star game. It actually went pretty quickly. With that new pitch count that they've instituted this year, it's actually made it a little bit more entertaining, I think.
Yeah.
That, and it shrunk the time of that. I hate to say it, and being a one-time avid baseball fan, as far as my team was, of course, the Indians. And when I was a kid, I used to really get bored with those 3-hour games, 3.5 hour games.
Oh.
And it got to the point where just really, I got so bored, I quit watching it altogether. This pitch count thing, I've actually watched a couple of games with that. And that's pretty, if they're not, they got to take and do that. And they're actually sticking to the rule of it. That's pretty decent.
Yeah, the All-Star game, I think, lasted like 2 hours and 38 minutes.
That's considering all the advertisement and all that other crap that's in that, that means about a 2 hour and 2 or 3 minute game.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
No,
But
I think they're moving in the right direction.
yeah, I think so too. It's just like I'm waiting to see what these new rules in the NFL are. This stuff that they're going to start this year. I'm curious to see what it is. If they've ruined the game, then I'll just quit watching it altogether. 'Cause, you know, I think that's the way a lot of people feel about that.
Yeah, it could go one of two ways. It could either ruin it or it could make it a lot better. We'll see.
I think it's going to add some excitement, especially the kickoff, return rules, because what they're trying to do is drive up the potential for more opportunities to score. And I think that'll help the game.
Yeah.
I think that's going to help it. The opportunity to score. You know, I can just picture how this is going to be. And you're going to have the kickoff. Everybody's got to sit in place until the ball's touched.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's going to be a free for all.
Yeah.
And if you've got a weak team or a weak defense, the offense is probably going to score on you about every time. So this could get a little interesting.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. I'm waiting for the preseason just to see what they're going to do with that. There hasn't been a whole lot of news from up here as far as the Browns go.
Yeah.
The latest I heard I think they signed Amari Cooper and that kicker, Hopkins.
Oh.
Did
Did they actually sign Amari?
I heard something about them signing him. I'm not, don't quote me on that, but you know.
I know they signed the kicker, Dustin Hopkins.
Yeah, they signed Hopkins, and I thought at the same time they said they gave Amari a 2-year deal.
Okay.
I don't know. I really wasn't following that much. It was one of those things that just didn't hit my ear at the right time. I had so much other stuff going on, but hopefully they'll get him signed if they haven't, because they need him here. There's a couple other needs that they need to get signed.
There is a rumor, though, talking about Amari, since he's not been signed, nor has CD Lamb down here.
Yeah.
There was a rumor going around that the Cowboys should trade for Amari and send Cleveland CD.
These people are nuts, man. That's clickbait.
No, it was just not clickbait. It was on sports.
Can you imagine that, trading for somebody you sent packing because you didn't believe in him? And then all of a sudden, we believe in you now.
And what it is, the CDs, he's gonna command big money.
Hey Gordon, I'm gonna trade your butt off. We're gonna send you to a different job.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna find out how much we really missed you. And then so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through the trade rules, and I'm gonna offer you a lot of money to come here and probably sit on the bench the rest of your career. Would you?
Man.
It would have to be so bad for the Browns to trade him anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, there ain't no way he's going anywhere.
But yeah, they're not doing it because first off, CD's gonna command more money, but also in that,
I'd like to see the Browns just get him without the Amari trade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can do that now.
It would cost the Browns about number one receiver.
Yeah.
Because Justin Jefferson and the Vikings just got 4 years, $140 million. So you're looking at that for CD Lamb.
I don't think they're going to do that because I don't know what kind of cap space they got this year. that could be interesting.
I just wish Nate was on so he could say something that we could make him eat his words on again later. I'll never forget what he said about Amari, man. We heard it. It's like,
Oh yeah, he's all washed up. He's going to Cleveland where he's just gonna ride the bench and that'll be the end of it.
they said, yeah. And they said, we said he's a bum. I'm like, what?
Dad, you just sounded like Hank Hill from King of the Hill right there.
He's a bum.
Okay. He did that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sean.
But
I used to do cartoon voices.
He makes it easy for me to beat up on him because he says things that are just so a lot of times so out there.
Yeah, well, I can understand where he comes from a lot of times, but there are times when he says stuff that you just go, hmm?
Man.
I like that stuff. I love bringing up that, what the hell was that guy's name from? Oh, Odell Beckham Jr.
Yeah.
I love bringing that up in front of him and calling him a bum and calling him saying he's worthless and all. But Nate gets so wound up over that. I think that makes my day a lot of times.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's weird because we're almost 2 weeks away from training camp.
Yeah.
And there's been absolutely no news about trades or anything.
Yeah.
What do you?
Relatively quiet.
Yeah.
Especially down here, even.
Yeah. And that's really odd because, come on, we have the owner. He is that guy. Well, of course, he's got other stuff going on right now. He's got a court date coming up for a paternity deal that he settled for millions out of court, and for them to do a disclosure agreement, and now they got the money and ran with it. My understanding is they're coming back. So I guess I think the young lady and her mom wants her place on the Jones throne or the Jones court, if you will.
Uh-huh.
And Jones is not trying to have that.
Yeah, but up here we still have little. They release just enough information to make you wonder what's really going on.
Mm-hmm.
Take Deshaun Watson, for instance. I've heard he's throwing well. He did a supposedly Facebook or some place interview that said he's throwing. I'm throwing every day. I'm ready to go back to the field, and we'll see what happens when I get there.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's supposed to get hyped over that. Show me. Show me. It's like that old saying: "Show me the money."
Yeah.
Show me what you got. I guess we'll see what they got when they get here.
Yeah.
I do know. I think with those trades that they picked, or those draft picks that they had,
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping at least one of those work out. But
Yeah.
the Browns are kind of different in that aspect than a lot of teams. A lot of teams, they'll get draft picks like that and they'll just burn out, or they'll blow out. And the next year you don't ever hear their name again.
Yeah.
But you still have a few names here. You've got a quarterback room that, if any of that gelled, hell, there wouldn't be one. We'd be unbeatable. But I just don't know that you've got anything that can compete against the Texans with CJ, or if he gets healthy and stays that way, Trevor Lawrence down in Jacksonville, or even what's his name from the Bengals, Burrow. Yeah, I'm afraid with Burrow. I think they've ruined him. I got a feeling they've ruined him. I'll be surprised if he makes a whole season, because he's going to get. And when you get injured like that, at least 2 or 3 times now, when you get injured like that, you got to be getting gun shy. And I think that's what's going to happen with him. I hope the best for him, but it's one of those hope the best and expect the worst. Yeah, because he's just not. When you're injury prone like that, I don't know how you're going to do. It's like trying to get back at having a major accident and trying to get back into a car and drive it. It doesn't bother some people, but if you're laid up in a hospital somewhere and you're watching your team play without you behind the steering wheel, it's got to be rough. Even if you get into some of the older, the past players and that,
Yeah.
it just, the people have even now, you hear people like Kozar talking about how the game really just wrecked them as far as it got into their heads after they got injured. Of course, Bernie went out of here. He wasn't injured when he left, but that depreciating skills thing is another thing. Let's pick something that since there's not a whole lot of sports news going on. Well, let's pick something that we should talk about that is actually in sports that has an impact. You guys got any ideas?
I do. It's actually in sports. It's not. Well, I don't know. That's a good one.
Paternity suits.
Yeah.
What's the best advice you can give a football player? Keep it in your pants.
Well, that's it. That's it. They got it for you, brother. They got it for you. These young athletes, and it's like, all right, man. You get pregnant by them. That's a lottery ticket. That's a lottery.
We could always talk about some college stuff. There's been a little movement there. They're still not sure who the quarterback's going to be for Ohio State yet. And they better get...
right now it's pointing to Will Howard, but that kid that they got from Alabama, Julian Sain, is right on his heels.
What is in the water in Alabama?
I don't know.
They produce some of the best damn football players I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
And they're always winning the damn championships and stuff.
This year is going to be different for them too, for Alabama, because Saban not being there this year.
Yeah.
So we'll see how Kalen DeBoer is the new head coach. He was the head coach at Washington last year. So.
I kind of look for this to be the make or break year for.
Because if you notice, a lot of the recruits lately for Ohio State had a lot of ties too originally with Alabama. So we'll see how that turns out.
If we're getting their rejects, that's pretty good.
Saying is not a reject. Saying is going to be the next great quarterback, I think.
What's his name?
Julian Sam.
Sam, S-A-M?
No, Sayin.
Saying.
Yeah.
Just saying.
There you go. Just saying.
Yeah.
As for a second, it sounded like you saying Satan.
So, a couple of people compare him to the Mac Jones of the college time. So,
Well, it's different.
if it's anything like that, then they got something.
I'd like to see something
Mac
coming.
Jones mixed with Bryce Young. Of this size.
Yeah, but Mike Jones was a heck of a all player in college. He hadn't
Panned out in the NFL.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's just not good.
College ranks, he was awesome.
Yeah.
The transition between college and NFL is just, I think it's a lot more than a lot of them kids expect.
That, and then it depends on where you land.
Yeah, that's true too. It's got to be a nightmare knowing you're the number one pick and thinking, oh my God, what's the worst team in the league?
Yeah.
That's where I'm going to end up. Oh, Christ, it's going to be Cleveland. Or even worse yet, oh my God, Dallas. No. Well, I'm probably going to get email about that. But
hey, Dallas, you're destined to be mediocre.
Yeah.
You're not the first person that's told me that. I've heard that they're buying mediocrity down there by the ton.
Oh yeah. It's okay. We make it to the playoffs and we're out.
What do they have as far as? Do you think they'll make the playoffs this year?
And I don't know. I have slide to go 9-8.
Yeah, that would make the playoffs.
And they'll make the playoffs.
I have them going about 10-7.
10-7. Yeah, I was looking at that. I looked at the schedule. I'm like, as of now, from what I think it's probably a 9-1 season.
I've looked at the Cleveland schedule myself, and I've heard, they're going to be lucky to win 8 games. Some of the sports rumors up here.
Uh-huh.
If you bring, there is so much that's going to ride on this flipping, this flipping quarterback thing with the Browns. You have to take it's just going to be rough. That alone is going to make it hard to figure out what is going to happen with what. I'd like to see the Browns have another season like they had last year, except go a couple of steps further, of course. And if you could do that, if you have a healthy Deshaun Watson for the year. But if he's not healthy, then you're going to have to depend on something else, and you're not going to luck into another Aaron Rodgers or anything like that. So I just don't. I don't know what they're going to do. I'd like to see them win. I'd like to see them put all of it to rest. But my expectations and what actually happens is two different things. I would like to see I want to see at least a 10-game year, a 10-win year. Is that possible with what the schedule they got, which is supposed to be rougher than last year? We'll see. I'm also watching football with Mr. Pittsburgh. And the Pittsburgh thing, that what they decided to go with. What was the name of that quarterback over there that they decided to go with?
Russell Wilson.
Yeah, Wilson. I've watched Wilson play with different teams, and he ain't nothing to write home about. He gets it done, more or less, but he's mediocre. But there again, you can win games with mediocrity.
Yeah.
As I've seen Pittsburgh in the damn Super Bowl with mediocrity.
Yeah.
They had a hell of a defense that year, or both those years.
Mm-hmm.
When you had Bubby Brister there,
Yeah.
that was the worst quarterback I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And they won games with him. But there again, they made it easy for him because the defense was impenetrable.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens. As far as Baltimore goes, what do we got there?
Man, Baltimore's looking solid.
You think they're still going to do that?
That's going to be the one team that throws KC some curves, maybe.
Man, we'll see.
Regular season, you might say that, but they tend to blow it in the postseason. In the postseason too. Look what they did last year.
If you look though, this year the AFC North, all of the teams this year have the strength of schedule is like all within the top 10 in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
In terms of strength, so it's going to be a tough year for the North, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough year.
Yeah.
But I think KC make good moves.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that made them stronger?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. They'll be able to spread that field out now with Marquise Brown and Worthy.
Yeah.
Both speedsters for certain.
There has been a couple of sightings of my guy Myles Garrett up here. He looks as big of a beast as he's ever been. There was a Verizon commercial that he was in. This guy goes running into a stadium on a Verizon phone supposedly, and he had a Myles Garrett jersey on.
Mm-hmm.
And the next thing you know, he runs right into Myles Garrett, who was standing there smiling like the beast he is.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw the commercial twice, and I haven't seen it since.
Mm.
And with the one I did see, cut the Garrett part of it out.
Yeah.
He must have been too much money for him. You can only use my likeness for a couple of weeks, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way it goes.
Yeah.
What do you think as far as, excuse me, Ryan Day? Let's talk about him for a minute.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is this a make or break year for him?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it goes now that he's also brought in Chip Kelly as his offensive coordinator. So we'll see.
I'm just hoping
if they go anywhere near what Chips is be able to do with an offense like that, that offense is going to be unstoppable.
Oh, that's cool.
Because he's one of those ones that high motor type offenses.
Yeah, that's what a lot of these
teams give Chip Kelly, and Chip Kelly is really well known for using his running backs. So you're going to be able to, the two running backs down there are going to shine, I think, and that's Henderson and Jenkins.
All right, let's take I'm going to be the devil's advocate here. It gets to the last game of the regular season for that team up north. Do you think Day beats them?
I think they beat them this year.
I hope you're right. I couldn't stand another defeat.
Yeah.
And the other question of it is, though, if they do that far, go that far, or if they do beat them, and they don't end up in a bowl, what do you think? Say they go for a playoff or a championship. Does the portal affect them like it did this year or this past year?
Yeah, I think it's going to affect them next year for certain, especially on the quarterbacks. Because right now they got 5 deep in quarterbacks. I mean, they're straying because you got Will Howard this year, but he's going to be graduating. And you got Derek Brown still, the quarterback that got injured in the bowl game, and then you got Keenholz that backed him up, and then you got Aaron Nolan, which is another freshman, a 5-star freshman.
Okay.
Well, I just hope these kids don't panic and think they're never going to play for Ohio State or play a game on the field. You're always just one play away.
Yeah.
And I just hope they, especially the freshmen, I hope they don't panic and decide to go through the portal to change. I still think that they ought to take and move that portal, the opening of that portal to the end of the bowl games. Have it open sometime mid-January. I think that would be a lot easier on the teams. And yeah, you gotta wonder why they're doing it this way. Any thoughts on that? Why in the hell would you have a portal open up right when you're going to go to the last game of the season?
Yeah.
Why not take and open it up even a week after the bowl games are over?
Yeah, it should be that way.
No.
I just for some reason, I don't know. It's just, to me, it's just a little bit of a cluster.
Yeah. There's a lot of it is due to this NIL too. So
that NIL thing, I think, is having a lot of effect on a lot of.
Yeah, it's helped. I think it's going to help the Buckeyes, but overall, but we'll see.
Well, these kids are going to get opportunities to, especially as far as commercials and stuff like that.
You look at that kid, that freshman right now from the Buckeyes that everybody's clamoring to see already, and it's Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah.
And he's going to be he's just another great wide receiver coming in through the rankings, because just in a couple of years, you're going to get Chris Henry Jr. coming to the Buckeyes.
He already committed.
His dad was that receiver for the Bengals there for a while.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. It's just going to reload.
Speaking of siblings, what do you think of Bronny? We haven't had a chance to talk about that yet.
That right there, that's something good to talk about. That is clearly a kid that everyone sees as, man, he's not ready. He doesn't look like he's ready.
He's starting to pan out a little bit, but it's going to take him some time.
He's not ready. He's not NBA ready.
Yeah. He'll be down in the G League this year.
And
you don't think Daddy's going to get him ready?
Well,
yeah.
The thing of it is I know he really pushing for him to come out, and I think that was more Daddy pushing for him to come out. We're looking at a kid who is he didn't have a good college career. It was
It kind of showed, actually, it showed the other day versus the Cavs in the Summer League because he got outplayed by the first rounder for the Cavs by far.
Yeah, I heard about that game. That was one of the reasons I brought him up.
He had he almost had the first triple double in Summer League in a decade.
and man, it's he's not a big kid, so he's just again, you got the thing about it is you think about the injury that he had in college. So there's a lot of things that speculating on him, the crazy part is we're not talking. They're not talking about these lottery picks and all this. Not that it was a strong draft anyway, but
It wasn't really that strong of a draft.
it really wasn't.
He got a lot of good role players out of this draft.
It was in comparison to other years. It was not a good draft. Anyway, class. It wasn't the best class, but they're talking about him. They're not talking about these other players. They're talking about him. All the focus is on him. Pressure this kid's getting. When you come out and your dad has been at one point the best player and one of the best players in the league and all that, and they are so many. I feel sorry for the kid.
Yeah, when you come out, this is just going to be the old bully syndrome.
Yeah.
When you come out to play or come out of high school and whatever, college, what have you, when you come out to play and say your big brother is played against some guy that didn't like him, and the big brother's gonna point it at you. That's what I see. Some of the stuff I see going to happen to this kid in regular ball or in regular the NBA. There's going to be people that are playing that are saying, "Well, you're LeBron's kid. All right, we'll take care of your ass. Just you wait."
I think he won't see much action if he comes up from the G League and actually gets to play. He won't see but a few minutes a game.
Yeah, that'd probably be better for him anyway. Safer.
Because, you got to put the better players on the floor. Yeah. And right now, he's nowhere close.
When you got Daddy over there coaching, though, I don't know. What do you think of LeBron being in the Olympics again, on the Olympic Olympic basketball team?
There's some players that were left off that I felt could have been there. I'm okay with him there, but when you look at it, it's a bunch of seasoned veterans on that roster. I look at Mitchell and some of the other guys that I felt like could be there versus some of the older guys, but
I don't know. To me, LeBron being in that thing again is kind of just, he's doing it for his own, because he can say, "Oh, I was in so many Olympics and we won. We won with me." Well, I don't think LeBron's got the I don't know, chutzpah that he used to have when he was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And he may be a professional and, trained professional, whatever, but I just don't think he's got it like he did back when he was a kid, when he first got into the NBA.
Yeah. I agree with you. In some aspects of it, he doesn't. I think he's a better shooter now than he was then, but just the all-around player, I think he was better when he was younger. And but at the same time, he's still a very, very good player in this league.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. I want to. We do have the Olympics coming up next week.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah, it's coming
It
up pretty quick.
Seems like we just had the Winter Olympics here a couple minutes ago.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch. I look forward to seeing the women's track, our sprinters that, in particular, that Takari Richardson. Shakari Richardson. Man, that girl's something else, man. She's fun to watch.
She's originally from down here.
Yeah, she's from the Dallas area. She is something else.
Let's have a professional, or let's have a pickleball league in the Olympics this year.
I was looking at something on that, and pickleball is getting pretty popular, and it's a lot of seniors are playing pickleball.
That would open the Olympics up to seniors. Let's go play some pickleball.
Let's go, Pat. Boy, see us out there, man.
I can run with McCain. Give me my walker. We can get here.
There you go.
Run
Bad
over here and.
Bad hips, bad shoulders, and all. I'll be out there.
Yeah, it's actually a growing sport.
It really is.
A lot of NBA players and football players have ownership in a lot of these leagues too.
I saw something funnier the other day. There was a pickleball league for like a matchmaking, or dating type deal.
Wow.
I'm like, really?
You can choose your mate if you can beat her in pickleball. If you beat her in pickleball, you can do anything you want. It kind of reminds me of the Bachelor elderly edition. They got married for 7 months and ended up divorced.
Yeah.
Because he was too much of a pig for her. These shows. I don't know where they come up with this crap. I haven't watched a whole lot of TV here recently because I know what's on it, or knew what was on it.
Yeah.
Last 3 or 4 days with that
Yeah.
RNC.
Yeah.
I just don't want anything to do with that.
Yeah.
You don't want to do with this?
Yeah.
You know, I hate this.
He's got his My Pillow on his ear.
That's what it is. My pillow on his ear. That's what that is. And yeah, I just don't want to. God, I hate politics. In general, man.
I don't want to.
I don't want to get into it.
I don't want to distract this show that far from but I do want to make one statement. There is no place in politics or anywhere else for a shooting like that.
No.
It's probably a good thing that the sniper took that kid out.
Yeah.
There is just no place in politics for that. And when you start, I think, to be quite honest about it, I think that woke a lot of people up. A lot of woke a lot of the politicians up. And it surely woke him up because he stood there and he actually said, I watched part of the RNC talk just because I wanted to see what BS he was going to try to put forward, which most of it was, but I won't go into that either. He did say, I pulled my hand down off my ear and I saw blood, and he says, I was being shot. And he says, I ducked. You know, maybe that was a kind of a moment. Maybe.
Maybe only for a moment, because he's right back to the
Rhetoric, yeah.
yes, the insults, the attacks, and the conspiracy theory stuff. He's right back at it. And then the other one, Mumbles, man, he comes off, I'm sorry, man, he comes off as old, feeble, and weak, man.
I think he's probably going to be, by the start of the week, he's probably not going to be the candidate. I expect this probably going to be an open convention.
Well, I'm gonna get Donald as my running mate. I'm like, this dude. You know, you might as well say that. I mean, I don't know what he's saying half the time, and it looks bad. It looks bad. So I'll put it like this: if he stays in there, the other nutbag is a sure in. Trump, he's got this locked down, man, because he wants to vote for a dude that he just, like I say, he comes across as old, feeble, and weak.
The thing of it is, Gordon, I don't really want. I'm going to touch on this lightly. Dale and I argued about this whole thing last week. We argued about the shooting and the politics around it and everything like that. And it's still, if you watch one side of the politics, I watch a lot of late night television, and I watched every once in a while. Colbert has a Democrat on. And he had Bernie Sanders on there the other night. And Bernie Sanders says, I don't know what the hell's wrong with people. He says, they seem to have forgotten that he tried to overthrow the government.
Agreed.
And he says, on top of that, he says, if you give him another chance, he's probably going to do it. He says he's already set the stage for it with the Supreme Court choices and that and what they've done. He says they seem to all forget that he tried to overthrow the government that day. And he says now he took a vice president that said he would have taken and went and did what Trump asked Pence to do. Yeah. No, I gotta tell. I've been on this planet for 70 years almost. It'll be 70 years in a month, and I've seen democracy get beat to hell and back. But I have never ever seen so many emphatic people trying to make this democracy go away, and it just staggers me. What the hell planet am I on?
You know what? And I mean, we're headed toward almost a third world country. But what I've come to realize is half of our voters are crazy.
Yep.
You know, because like you said, he tried to overthrow the government. But again, to say this, Pat, okay, now because of the balance in power in the Senate and everything, he got away with it.
Yeah.
He got away with it. So he wasn't by himself in doing it. So to say this, yeah, and you remember, what's her name? Her daddy was vice president at the time.
McCain.
McCain. No, not McCain, but what's her name?
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Anyway, the Halliburton dude, his daughter. They run her out of office because she took a stand. Because I hate to say this on here, but we talking about a bunch of men that did not show any. They're afraid. They seem afraid. They seem intimidated by him, and you know, and and the thing about it is, like I say, our politics in general is so divisive in general, and then we have a split because you would have thought that, like you said, you start off saying that he had a moment, and yeah, he had only a moment, and he went right back to his the other rhetoric that he spits out, and we talking about. I've heard people say, educated people say, "Hey, I don't, I don't have any proof, but the election was rigged."
And he had
And do you hear what you're saying? I believe it.
What he's saying
Although
is that
there's no evidence to support it.
what he's saying is I feel I won, and it don't care. I don't care what the voters said.
Yeah, but I've heard other people say that the voting public, and I'm like, okay. But again, it has.
Gordon, you're one of a few, buddy.
It has turned
and
me,
I'm right there with you.
It has turned me against the Republican Party. Call me a rhino now.
Well, it's the way I see this is that I don't think Biden's going to make he ain't going to make the convention because of the fact that he's just. I think the confidence in him is dwindling by the day.
Understandably so. And if he runs,
he's going to get slaughtered.
You might as well vote for Trump.
But I think if they run, well, if the next up would probably be Kamala Harris, and I know a lot of people don't like her. And what they need to do is put somebody in there, some sort of younger person that knows what the hell they're doing. I'll tell you one that I would have voted for, though it's a Republican, was Nikki Haley until she turned coat there. I don't know if they bought her or what, but her turning coat like that, I lost all the respect for her.
What it is this, and I'm gonna tell you, okay, Trump got a pass. He did not want to debate against his constituents, the rest of the Republicans that were running, and he did not want to do that because there are some of them that, because of all the stuff that's out there, they would have tore him up. All that stuff would have been rehashed. Democrats, one of the things that I don't like about Democrats is started back with, it got really bad with Hillary, was the way she came out and attacked. But Donald saw that and he just took it to another level.
Lock her up.
And so, yeah, I mean, the whole, what was it with Obama, the birthing deal, and he later come out and say he knew it wasn't true, but Hillary the one started it. Was he not right? He was right in that.
Oh, I hated to turn this into a political show, but
I hear you. Yeah, we probably could go back to something else because that's really not my thing.
Me either.
I'm like you. I kind of unplug because I don't care much about that garbage.
The way I look at this, and I'm going to state this here because it's of the topics that we've covered here. My opinion is my own opinion. I respect you for your opinion, and I expect you to respect me with mine. This does not mean I'm going to take this and argue on any other show. It doesn't mean that I'm going to take and argue with you through email, through Facebook, or whatever. My politics are my feelings, and if you don't like them, tough.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
If you don't like them, go vote for Trump.
You know, I have siblings that would potentially fall out over it. But when they start talking, that I probably irritate them because I tell them, man, let's talk about basketball or football or something else or anything but politics. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But I just don't want to hear it. I don't care. I don't want to talk about Biden. I don't want to talk about Trump for the most part. I don't want to talk about the clowns.
I don't care. And another funny here before I drop this topic altogether. I listen to some different frequencies on my radio at night as far as my ham radio. And I'm in this group on this one band. And I usually go in there and I talk and BS. Well, they've started talking about politics. And they're all Republicans. And they are Biden bashing Republicans. And I just reach over and switch goes off. I don't need that crap.
Yeah.
I don't want to listen to it.
Yeah. I don't even want to hear Trump bashing.
And I don't care. Anyway, let's go back to what else we got to cover today. We haven't covered anything baseball wise. Anything going on?
The one other item I see is the number one pick for the Guardians was that kid Travis Bazzana from Australia.
Yeah, they picked him up. I saw they picked him up.
And that should be a pretty good pickup. I mean, he'll probably be in the majors in no time.
Yeah, they said he was coming through. They have him out there at.
He's going to be probably fast track to the majors, is the way they're talking.
He's actually playing out there in the Lake County. Yeah. The Lake County.
Yeah.
I think it's the Captains. He's actually playing out there.
Oh, okay.
And that's pretty much, like you said, that's the fast track to being on the team. They actually have the Guardians / Indians, whatever you want to call them.
Just call them the Indians.
They actually have two farm leagues. They've got the Akron Rubber Ducks.
Yeah, AA, yeah.
Then they have the Lake County Captains, which is what, AAA?
Single A.
And
AAA.
When you come back, if somebody gets injured and comes back through rehab, what they'll do is they'll play them a couple of games in the AA league down here.
Yeah.
And then once they get playing well enough, they stick them up in single A for a minute, and then they'll put them back on the team. That's the recovery thing that they've got. So you can, if you go to a captain's game or go to a Rubber Ducks game, you actually see some pretty decent talent there. Most of those kids are.
Yeah, their AAA team is the Columbus Clippers.
Oh, I forgot about that one. Yeah.
And then your AA is Akron, and then your high A is Lake County, and then single A is Lynchburg, Virginia.
They actually have. I actually like the idea of these farm leagues.
Yeah.
They ought to have something like that in the NFL. Did you ever think about that, Gord?
Well, they got kind of similar to it right now with the UFL.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't see that being the same thing. If they took, it would be nice if they just had 2 or 3 leagues that they could send these kids through and teach them how to play, and then put them in the NFL. You know,
Yeah.
it would be a little bit more of a process, but you could keep the injuries happening, get them trained, and get them to where they're NFL capable, instead of just throwing them in out of the clear blue.
Yeah.
I think it would probably make the success rate a little bit better, wouldn't you?
Maybe so. Maybe so.
Because if they were going to flame out, they'd flame out in the other leagues.
You know, the problem with that is the one issue with that is that they are not going to make much money doing it, or not that the players in general. So, and then, you know, that's a different type of grind on you than you know, basketball or baseball. You know, so you know, can you, you know, you could just get beat up a couple of years there and not be fit to play. Anyway.
Well, then you'd flame out, and that'd be the end of it.
Yeah, but like I say,
I know. I actually worked with Larry Poole, but he was a foreman of mine back in the late '80s. After he'd flamed out, he just couldn't catch the ball to save his life. He was a wide receiver, and he was thrown in like that, and he told me once, he says, I was not even near ready. He says, they threw me into that, and he said, I did the best I could, and then it flamed out, and that was the end of it. But,
and that does happen to a lot of them.
The things that he was taught, though, he was actually teaching people at work how to anticipate somebody's move, and how to anticipate even the way a machine moves. You know, the processes you got to go through to load the machine. It was an interesting talk, needless to say. I don't know where he ended up at, but he was a foreman, and then he ended up quitting to go somewhere else because he didn't like the idea of manufacturing.
You know, John's cousin.
Oh,
what's that?
Oh, Shawn was asking me if we could get a hold of John's cousin for our podcast. Walls, Everson Walls.
Oh,
you know, he played up in Cleveland for a minute.
Yeah, I know that name.
Yeah, he was a great player here in Dallas. He played up there after on the end of the Jimmy Johnson era. But he was they had a real good secondary when he was there. Had him and what was that guy, Dennis Thurman, Dexter Cleanskid. So anyway, they dubbed him as Thurman's Thieves. They were really good secondary. And but anyway, Shawn got the opportunity to meet him at my sister-in-law's funeral. Wait. Yeah.
That's cool.
But yeah, I don't know. I can't keep up with everything.
We had Eric and I did a show here with a couple of months back with an NFL backup kicker. He actually played for the Browns and was talking about his experiences on that. This was at the beginning of it was at the end of right before the current coach came.
Mm-hmm.
And he was an interesting talk. He talked about what a day in the life of an NFL player was, and the food and the even being a secondary or a backup like that. He says, I had the life of Riley. Well, that show actually got almost 4,000 hits I was impressed.
Wow.
But it was because that name was attached to it. And it was interesting to say the least. Well, we got 12:30 here, man. That
Yeah.
went quick.
Yep. Yep.
All right, I guess we can wrap it up if you guys want to.
Yeah.
I think it's time to, at least we got a show in the books here.
Yes, sir.
If you're listening for our other shows, which we always appreciate, next one up is Radioactive tomorrow night at 7:30. More than likely be there as far as I know. Topics I'm not sure yet. I got to look, see what some current stuff is, and we'll probably get on and talk about that. Then the next week, or after that, Eric's going to go back to doing the nanosecond on Monday, on every other Monday night.
Okay.
So this coming Monday, not sure what he's got planned, but I'm sure he's got something up his sleeve. And then that'll be it until we come back to this show. There's some other stuff if you're an amateur radio operator, which I know some of you listen. We've got a radio club, and I've got this next month. I've got two really cool presentations coming. One is actually going to be from a ham radio YouTuber that is probably one of the best I've ever watched for being informative. The way the stuff worked out was absolutely cool. A friend of mine says, I was looking for somebody to do a presentation on this thing called fox hunting, which is direction finding. And a friend of mine says, well, why don't, he says, I contacted one of the best known names in amateur radio, which was a guy by the name of Gordon West. And he couldn't. He said, that's a topic I don't know enough about to teach. I said, okay, that's not a problem. Well, this other guy from the radio and I got talking. He says, well, I've been finding this KB8 or KB9 VBR. He says, I've been finding a lot of video, and he does stuff on park activations and direction finding. He says, why don't you call him? I said, I don't have a number. Well, I'll get you a number. Well, this is how this kind of stuff, always kind of freaks me out. When I talk to that guy I just mentioned a minute ago, he's done videos, he's done television, he's been on this thing called Ham Nation. You name it, he's done it. He answered the phone. He picks it up. He says, Ham Radio School. I said, hello? I'm looking for Gordon West. He says, that's me. Yeah, what? You're a celebrity. I'm talking to you? I get this other guy on the phone, and he actually answered the phones. He's going to do a presentation for us the 7th of August, which nobody knows about yet. But it'll be on direction finding and stuff like that. So I'm going to probably put it on YouTube. So look for it there. Other than that, really not a whole lot going on with anything else. I'm thinking about after actually the 7th or whatever that's what's the first Saturday in August, Shawn? Do you know where it is?
Is it the third?
Third, I believe.
Well, as of the 4th of August, I think that was the first show we did on the new station 5 years ago for Radioactive. That was, God, that's so long ago.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing this shit for 7 years. Hard to believe.
Yeah.
Anyway, I digress. Anyway, we got those coming up we got those shows coming up this next week. I hope you all will tune in and see what's going on with us. Anything else, guys?
Not that I know of.
Hopefully next week we'll be back and we'll have Mr. Nate joining us.
Okay.
He
I'm trying to get some other people in on that too, so we'll see.
if you guys want to do a guest or something, we can
Okay.
probably try to put something like that on.
Yeah.
I want to get. It would be nice if we could get some stuff going for the football or for
Yeah.
the NFL stuff coming up. So even if we get a sportscaster or something. With that, we'll go ahead and wrap her up for the week. You all have a wonderful week. If you go to church or temple, whatever, have a blessed weekend. Talk to you soon. 7-3. This has been a